If you're selling info online and your VSL starts with something like, I went from working at McDonald's to making over 6 figures in trading, you're spending way too much time on your content, you're wasting that time you're spending on your content, and you're wasting a huge amount of the money that you're spending on ads. The way I look at it is this. The VSL and your content hooks, they're going to be similar in terms of importance, but the stakes of a VSL hook are way, way higher because there's no algorithm actually putting that back onto someone's feed if they decide to click away. And even if that person does go back onto your landing page, the likelihood of them then clicking on that video again is much, much lower every time that they click on the page. I'm Lewis, I'm a marketing consultant. I've helped my clients make over £1.5 million. And over the last few months, I've been paid to run over 100 VSL funnel consultations. So in this video, I'm going to be going over with you the main things I've taken away from these, the difference between content hooks and VSL hooks, something I call the recognition reflex and how you can use it to actually improve the performance of your VSLs, the main things that I see in the best performing VSL funnels that I have seen, audited and consult on, and also how you can actually take this and then put this into your own VSLs to maximize the results of your marketing. Because if you get this right, your sales team are going to be thanking you for some of the best leads that they've ever had. But then if you get this wrong, you're going to be struggling with a 1 or 2x ROAS and not really able to scale. So the first thing is the difference between content hooks and VSL hooks. Now, if you're running some sort of coaching program, you've got an audience online, the likelihood is you've kind of got some practice in this of how to start your YouTube videos or how to start your Instagram reels. But the way in which you structure the hook, it can't be the same because the goal is different between these two things. A content piece is essentially built to be consumed, and some of them will be more conversion focused than others, but really they're built to be consumed. There's going to be some sort of payoff at the end of that, whether it's settling that curiosity that you open in the start or giving some sort of entertainment value, whatever it may be. But content is built to be consumed. VSLs are essentially built to convert. So the purpose is way, way different, and we need to open it as such. So the hooks in a piece of content are going to be oftentimes very creator centric. It's going to be something like, I tested 400 different ways of building VSL funnels, in my example. Or it could be something like, I was able to go from, like the example I gave at the start, I went from this to this in this time frame. It's all about the creator, and that makes sense. It's what performs well. But really, you need to lead with the prospect and the problem that that prospect's in when it comes to a VSL funnel if you actually want to get conversions from it. So that's the main difference. It's going from creator-centric hooks to prospect-centric hooks. The other thing as well is that hooks in content are often short. YouTube video hooks, they might be longer, but in a reel or even a YouTube video, usually it's going to be quite short. It's going to give that bit of excitement or interest or intrigue, novelty, something like that, and then it's going to get into the video. But the VSL, it needs to set up with a whole lot more framing, because otherwise your video viewers are going to essentially get a bit of whiplash really when it comes to the actual process and the journey that you take people on through the VSL. It's not just like a piece of content. So you need to go from, okay, my hook is just a short 3 seconds, to thinking, okay, the hook in a video sales letter is more 15 to 30 to 45 seconds, priming them and actually getting them set up, and it's more of the warm up whilst building that interest and that essentially the cost of not consuming that video. You need to set it up in that way rather than just being like, oh, be curious now and find out what's going to happen at the end of this video. The other thing as well, the final point about the difference between these two, is that content-based hooks can be more baity and curiosity-driven, whereas especially in the changes that we've seen in the info space in the last few years, VSL hooks need to be more about proof, about the problem, showing some sort of understanding, so you can build up trust and you can just lower the guard a whole lot more. So those are the 3 main differences, going from creator-centric to prospect-centric, the actual length of the hook and the way in which you actually structure it, and the difference in kind of baity, curiosity, novelty-based hooks versus real promised payoff and actually recognizing and showing true understanding. And that brings me on to the next point of the importance of VSL hooks and what to do to make a good one. It's what I call the recognition reflex. And when you approach it with conversion in mind rather than just consumption of the video, you need to really show that you understand the person that is at watching that video. And how to get that conversion is by, first of all, researching, understanding, making sure that you know who you're speaking with, rather than just saying, okay, like this is for everyone. And you're going from helping people to see, okay, oh, this could be an interesting video, to stepping right through the screen and saying, I see you in this exact situation you're in right now, and describing to that person the specific problem that they find themselves in. And then if you can nail that specificity, you're going to make sure that these people are actually engaged through your video, but then you're also building trust straight away because you're showing that understanding. So it's the difference of saying something like, and I'm going to get into some examples later in the video, it's the difference of saying something like, oh, do you want to get more results in trading, for example? But it's going to be talking about, okay, like you are in a situation right now where you've been trying trading for maybe 6 to 12 months now, but you just can't stop revenge trading. It's getting into that specific scenario, the recognition reflex, and it's going to essentially hijack someone's brain from going from, okay, this is just a curiosity hook, to one where you show, okay, I've got deep understanding of the situation you're in right now. And it's essentially building up that cost of not watching the video, because that person's going to be resonating with you and connecting with you way, way better because you've shown that you can actually connect with them. The other thing that I'm getting into, the next stage of this, is the 3 patterns of the best performing video sales letters that I've audited, that I've consulted on. And I'll go through them quickly. So we've got speaker moments, double dip, and make sure it only works for your buyer. So what do I mean by speaking in moments? Well, that's essentially what I just spoke about. It's talking about the specific situation that someone finds themselves in. It helps someone, it's more of that visceral reaction. If you've seen my breakdown of Sabri Subi's video sales letter on my channel as well, he does this very well too. And it's all about just, instead of just saying, okay, I know that this is the result you want, or this is the pain you're in, it's taking that step further and it's stepping through the screen and finding them in that situation right then. So an example that I've written down here, I've written a couple of different examples because I honestly learn pretty well through examples. So without speaking in moments, you might say something like, if you want to start making money with UGC, you're in the right place. Now, that seems like a pretty harmless opening for a video sales letter, but you could get so much better results if you said something like this. You just filmed your 3rd product video today. The ring light's still on, your phone's on 4%, and it's telling you low storage. And the brand you're working with just emailed you to say, sorry, we're going in a different direction. You can see that steps through the screen, that's grabbing that person and saying, I see you in that situation right now. And it's going to get that lean, and it's hijacking the brain in a different way that someone's saying just, oh, you want to make money in UGC, just can't do. The next one we spoke about is double dipping. So what do I mean by this? Well, a lot of people will speak about the pain that someone's in, or the promise, or the pleasure that they're actually chasing, right? And the best performing VSLs that I work on, that I create for clients or I've consulted on, double dip. They're going for both of these here. So someone might say, are you struggling to find consistency in your trading? So that's also that specific, like, okay, yeah, I understand. I'm working with people who are already trading, but they're just not consistent. It seems okay, but if you double dip on this and you're picking up the positive and also the negative situation that someone's in, pairing that a bit with the speaking in moments that we just spoke about, you can say this. Let me guess. You're sick of revenge trading at 3 p.m, your red days wiping out your green ones, you're sick of telling yourself the next month will be better, and all you want is to be able to close your laptop at 11 a.m. and actually trust your income's handled. You can see that just takes things a step further. You're putting someone in the situation, you're understanding the situation, and you're going for the positive and also the negative side of things as well. And then finally, the final part of, and this should be really go without saying, but you're speaking to your buyer only. And if your VSL opening could be used by multiple other creators out there in your niche, then it's just not specific enough. With the transition, we can go from here. So I'm using this for an Airbnb arbitrage kind of offer. So someone could say, anyone could build an Airbnb business. That could be like an opening to your VSL. But then to take this a step further and speak to who you exactly want to speak with, if you've always wanted to get into property, but a 20,000, 30,000 down payment just isn't realistic to you right now, and then you'll go on with the rest of the VSL from there. So I hope those examples help you out with like when it comes to like taking these 3 pointers, speaking in moments, double dipping, and only working for your buyer, because those are the 3 things that I've noticed from the best performing VSLs that I've been working on. So how can you actually do this yourself? Well, I hope you can kind of see that there's a bit of a pattern here, that the best performing VSLs come from deep understanding of your buyer. So the first thing it's going to be some research. Now, people don't like doing this. I think partly because it's like not super well-defined work. It's like, oh, go and research, go and do market research. And I think the other part is that people assume that they know their buyer already, because maybe they're like, oh, I was my buyer, so I just know, I know who it is. But if you can actually spend time, and it could be half a day, really, it doesn't even take that much time, doing some real deep research into who you're actually looking to connect with, you're going to be able to, the magnitude of results that you can get in comparison by using terminology in your copy that people are actually using right now is just going to be absolutely insane. So the first thing is researching your buyer. So your competitors aren't going to be doing this because of the reasons that I've previously stated. So go where your buyers are going. Go to things like Reddit. Go to comments on your ads or your content. Your competitors as well, if you don't have ads running, or if you don't have as much content, and let's say there's bigger people in your industry that you're probably aware of them, they probably are bigger than you right now. Just go to their comments as well. If you don't have loads and loads on yours and on your content, on your ads, go through your own calls as well, your own sales calls. AI is great now. You can just drag in the transcript of that sales call, and then you'll be able to see, okay, what are the specific words that people are using. And people think a lot of the time, really, that copywriting is like this kind of dark art of of really twisting the way in which you're phrasing things to make it really hit home. And yeah, some copywriters are super talented, but really at 80, you can get 80% of the way there with your copywriting if you are just stating clearly the words that someone's already saying. So if you can take those words from Reddit, from your ads, from your competitors' ads, and just put that in a clear way that's actually tied to the benefit, tied to the pain, and structured in the way that we've actually talked about using some of the techniques in this video already, you're going to get 80% of the potential results, really. I'd be willing to bet anyway. So yeah, don't stress about, oh, well, we don't have a copywriter on staff or whatever it may be. If you want to get something going, then that's your best bet. Just it's essentially assembling and organizing thoughts rather than just coming up with something from scratch, And then I've written something down here that's not super clear. Okay, and you have your prospects. By doing this, your prospects are going to be surprised, essentially, how well you understand them and how deeply you are able to connect with their problems. And they're essentially going to be so drawn to you compared to your competitors, just because you are articulating the situation that they're in and the problems they face and the desires that they have in a way that they've just not experienced before. So that's going to set you up way better. And then in terms of actually going ahead and writing this, I did give you a few examples, but just in terms of like a simple template, now you don't need to copy this, it's quite a simple one, but essentially if you can just go from, if you are in specific moment of frustration and you want specific outcome, and then you can just go into, and you can also rewind in this video because I did something very similar in that. So think about that moment, put them in that moment, show that you recognize them in that moment, and then talk about the way in which you truly understand what they want on the other side of that. Then you're going to have a great opening to your VSL hook, rather than just something generic like, here's how to learn more about my offer, or just a kind of a story that's overplayed, like I went from broke to rich, and this is the situation I'm in right now. Like that's been overplayed. People's guards are up. They don't connect. They don't feel seen at all. And if you can show your prospects that you see them, then you're going to get much better results. And this is the thing that's going to really separate people this year, next year, several years in the future. Is going to be the quality of these VSLs, the quality of the copywriting in them, because design has essentially been the the playing field's been leveled. You can go into Lovable, you can go into Claude Code, you can get a really nice professional looking landing page. So and eventually everyone's going to have something on that sort of level as far as design's concerned. So how can you actually separate yourself? Well, it's going to come down to having good fundamentals of understanding your niche, and also good fundamentals of copywriting. So paying attention to the stuff like this, things that actually perform when it comes to your video sales letter, those are things that you need to be focusing on at the moment if you want to get results in your funnels. So hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it for you. And if you do want to work with me, if you want someone to create you a VSL funnel, webinar funnel, or essentially review the type of funnel that's going to perform best for you and your audience and your offer, then feel free to scroll down and hit that link in the description, and you can find a time to chat with me. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.